everybody, welcome to BrickVault. My name's Jack. Our collection video this week is every single LEGO Star Wars Rebel pilot minifigure ever made. Alright, so here's the whole collection in front of us. It is going to be split into two different categories. Seems like all these collection videos nowadays are always stipulated in some way, shape, or form. But basically, I'm going to split it up into orange suits and the rest. This way you can see the evolution of the minifigs a little bit easier. And according to the Star Wars lore, at least, the X-Wings and Snowspeeders and Y-Wings that all had orange suits generally had, I think, the same control consoles, and that's why their flight suits are so similar. Personally, I think it was also cheaper during production of the movies back in the 70s to just have the pilots all with the same kinds of suits. Also, I'm excluding any characters that also happen to be pilots, but main characters like Luke Skywalker, Han Solo. I've done videos on those guys, and they are also pilots, as well as all the Jedis that have their starfighters. Those aren't in there either. Specifically, I'm just focusing on the pilots or characters that have pretty much only been portrayed as pilots within any form of the universe. So let's start off right now. In 1999, one of the very first Star Wars minifigs, this is Dak. He came out in the Snowspeeder set 7130 along with Luke Skywalker. The print detailing for his flight suit is extremely simple, as you can see, but pretty good considering the time period it came out. What makes him different really is just the blue insignia on his helmet. Luke Skywalker's is red in this set, and his face is just totally normal. In new condition on BrickLink, I would put him at $6, and 1999 also gave us Biggs. He's pretty much the same minifigure, except he's got that mustache on his face, as well as a much checkerboard pattern printed on his helmet. He came out in the X-Wing fighter set 7140, and in new condition he's around $11. So 99 worked out pretty well. We've got a Snowspeeder pilot, an X-Wing pilot, and they decided to do a Y-Wing pilot. There's no specific name for this guy, but he first appeared in the TIE Fighter and Y-Wing set 7150, and he's got a great print for a headset. There's some red hair also above his eyes. He goes for nearly $7 on BrickLink, and there it is for all the original pilots from 1999. Nothing new comes around till 2006. We get Wedge Antilles. He came out in the set X-Wing Fighter 6212. His helmet has a really basic gray design on the top, and a lot of the prices for these figures is pretty much based on the exclusive helmet print that they get. A lot of the faces are reused, as well as the prints for the bodies. Wedge goes for around $6, and 2007 gives us just a couple of the repeated figs from 99, except now they have flesh. Here is Dak. Same guy, just a flesh face. He appeared in the Hoth Rebel base set 7666. And this next guy is an updated Y-Wing fighter, just like we had before. The face is not cool with the headset like our original guy, but he just has a generic face, but is now flesh colored. The helmet is exactly the same. He came out in the Y-Wing fighter set 7658 and sells for about $4. Nobody new comes around until 2010, and this is Zev Seneska, a Snowspeeder pilot. But what's memorable about him as a minifigure, at least, is that this is the first official update that we get to the orange jumpsuit for these different pilots. So the life support unit on the chest is a lot more intricate. It looks way better. We've got good detailing on the back. It's relatively simple, and I know most people complained about the fact that the white printing was really transparent. You could really see a lot of the orange still, but undoubtedly this is still a major improvement from the original guys. He also has printing on his face to show a visor. I think that was a great touch, and you can even see a chin strap around his chin. He came out in two sets, Rebel Trooper Battle Pack 8083 as well as Hoth Wampa Cave 8089, and he is maybe even under $2 on BrickLink, relatively cheap. Zev came out again the very next year in the LEGO Star Wars Advent Calendar, set number 7958. He's the only guy, I think, that has just a solid white helmet piece. They didn't bother to put any printing on there, which I think is pretty lazy, but the expression here is the exact same as Zev, and though he was originally released as just a regular Rebel pilot, later he was ID'd to be the Zev Seneska pilot. He's also $2. And then 2012 brings us some of the cooler minifigs, in my opinion, from the collection. We've got the Y-Wing Gold Leader Jack Porkins and the, well, just another Rebel X-Wing pilot, but he looks pretty good. Anyways, here is the Gold Leader. Once again, the only marks that really distinguish him from anybody else are the markings on his helmet. There's a lot of gray and that sort of checkerboard pattern that we've seen once before. He was released in Gold Leader's Y-Wing Starfighter 9495, and he sells for $5 or $6. The next guy here is a fan favorite. He's Jack Porkins, but honestly, he's one of my favorite figs because he's got such a great looking helmet print. That red and yellow really contrasts very well, and the printing for his face is a bit unique too. He's got the facial hair, and he looks a little chubby. I mean, that is sort of what he's kind of known for in the Star Wars universe, and also being called Porkins. He came out in the X-Wing Starfighter set 9493, and he's just just under $5. The last guy of 2012 is just a conglomerate fig. He's got Zev Sineska's face, Dak's helmet, and well, just the secondary updated version of the body. He is an X-Wing starfighter. He came out in the Yavin 4 Planet set 9677, and he goes for also just under $5. And though this last guy wasn't officially known as Dak, the next pilot for 2013 is a updated version of Dak. He's got the same helmet with the blue, and this is the third wave of updated versions of the body. He now has printing on the legs. The printing really does work well. It matches up with the gray groin piece, and the printing on the chest also is a little better. The life support box is a little bigger. The straps for the box are a little thicker, and these guys in general are just starting to look a bit better. He came out in another one of those Planet sets, Planet Hoth, with the Snowspeeder 75009, and he's actually very expensive, oddly enough, coming out to, I don't know, maybe $10 or more on BrickLink. But the flight suit prints have changed forever now with the rest of these guys. They only even get more detailed from here on out. 2014 brings us 3 new guys. 2 of them are Dak, or maybe 2 of them are Dak. And if you're wondering why he's so popular, it is because he came out just with so many Luke Skywalker sets. This is Dak, and he's the first guy here that has a dual face, I mean, aside from Luke Skywalker, and he appeared in the Snowspeeder set 75049. He is $3. And this next guy, though not officially labeled as Dak, also came out in a Star Wars Advent Calendar set. He does have Dak's helmet and a couple of different expressions printed on the face. He's $3 as well. In 2014 is finished off with a microfighter guy. He came out in the X-Wing Starfighter Microfighter set 75032, and he has great printing. You can see the printing on the legs is updated. He's got some extra straps. The pockets look a little bit better. There's a lot of printing on that groin piece, more than you get for most other figs. And there's even a communication print on the side of the face, both 2 expressions there, and a really nice looking detail for the helmet. All in all, one of the best looking pilots I think that we get from this collection. He's $5 brand new, nothing much more or less than most of the other guys that we're looking at, but it is nice to know that those microfighter sets have consistently produced very good minifigs. 2015 just has this one guy. His unique feature is that gray helmet. I think this guy looks great in gray. Honestly, I think more of the helmets could have been printed in this color, could have been molded in this color, sorry. And he came out in the Snowspeeder set 75074. His price is less than $3, and this sets the stage for 2016, where we get just a bunch of new pilot figs. Wedge finally gets remade after 10 years of not being in any LEGO sets. He came out in the Assault on Hoth set. When you compare the old version to the new guy, it's night and day, really. And I know a lot of people really liked the new helmet prints for this particular set. I too agree with that. I think the helmet looks awesome here. And because this guy came out in this ridiculously expensive set, his price follows suit, being kind of harder to acquire, and he is at least $16. Wes Jansen also came out in this set, and his main distinguishing feature, yes, is the new print for the helmet. I do like the look of that checkerboard. It's not as intricate as the original checkerboard prints that we saw from 1999, but I think it just looks better at this scale. And this guy too is selling for $16 on BrickLink. Now I know the collection says all the Rebel pilots, but obviously Poe has to be put in here. He is an X-Wing pilot and ace at that. So the first set he came out in was technically a 2016 release. It was Poe's X-Wing Fighter 75102. He comes in his flight suit, which is now darker, a lot more detailed, and I really like that they did make it a slightly darker orange. It feels like it might even be one of the same flight suits used back in the Rebellion 30 years earlier, and it's just way worn away. Also, the helmet mold is new. It looks a lot better, and the best part of it is that it now has a visor molded into the plastic. I think most agree that this looks a lot cooler. It also makes a little bit more sense, and the detailing on the helmet is also really, really good. He sells for about $8, and this set also came out with a different Resistance X-Wing pilot, same print for the body, same mold for the helmet, different color though. It's a white helmet and has different detailing on the mold, and the face is also a little bit different, somewhat generic. He's not quite as popular as Poe, so he goes for around $6. And then Poe came out again in another X-Wing set. This time it's the Resistance X-Wing fighter. It has the more normalized colors to the X-Wing. He's in his flight jacket and just regular brown pants. He's got different expressions molded onto the face, as well as a different helmet. He comes with an alternate hairpiece, and altogether he's a very well put together minifig. He's about $12. And the very last of the orange suit pilots is Snap Wexley. He came out in the little microfighter Resistance X-Wing fighter set 75125. He's got a white helmet with special printing that is just for his character, and that printing also goes onto his face. He's got a nice sort of thick black beard. I don't believe any of the printing on the body has changed, and he comes out to be $5 on BrickLink. Now let's move on to sort of the second second half, or the second chunk of pilots that were for the Rebellion, and there's a few extras as you'll note, but probably the next most popular ship used by the Rebellion was the A-Wing, and here are the first three guys. Respectively, they came out in the years 2000, 2006, and 2009. The printings for their bodies are all the same, relatively simple. I think they look slightly better than what we got for the original orange guys, and I actually think the year 2000 A-Wing pilot was the best, just because he's got the printing that shows the headset. The set he came out in was A-Wing Fighter 7134, and it's hard to find a new version of this guy. He is $7. The simple smiley face guy with a flesh head and gray visor came out in A-Wing Fighter 6207. He's also about $6. And the last guy just had a visor that switched back to yellow. He came out in Home 17754, and because he's slightly newer, for some reason BrickLink has him labeled at under $4, even though just the visor changes. Here are the next three A-Wing pilots. The dark green figure was released in 2013, while the next two were 2016 this year. Our dark green figure is possibly Green Leader, though I don't believe it is officially confirmed. They came out in the set A-Wing Starfighter 75003, and being a relatively unique figure, this dark green A-Wing pilot goes for $10. Here is our female A-Wing pilot in a nice sort of light gray blue color. She has the same helmet mold as the previous pilot, though the markings are significantly different. I like that gold on the top. She came out in the set Darth Vader's TIE Advanced versus A-Wing Starfighter, and right now she's about $7. This next A-Wing pilot is actually a guy I pulled out of the polybag this morning in order to finish the episode. He came out in a polybag as a promotion, and he's supposed to resemble Phoenix 2 from the Star Wars Rebel show. He is about $8, maybe a little bit more, and that helmet mold is great. I really do like the printing for the mouthpiece there on the inside of the visor, but this is a helmet I normally associate with B-Wing fighters. Here are all the B-Wing guys. You can see that this helmet was used first here in 2014, but let's backtrack just a little bit. These are the original B-Wing pilots, the first guy coming out back in the year 2000. The printing is exactly the same as our original orange suit pilots, though the body is now red, and he doesn't have a special mold for the helmet, but instead just sort of a standard helmet with an intricate print on the top. He comes with a yellow visor, and oddly enough, he has eyebrows on his face and sells for around $7. The next guy just has a flesh face and a slightly tinted visor instead. He was released in the B-Wing set 6208, along with 10 Num, the Sulston pilot. He looks really nice. I like him in the white. He's got a special print just for this character and an excellent print for the face. Here are their prices respectively, and these are the last three B-Wing pilots. The first is an updated version of 10 Num. He's now in a red jumpsuit with way better detailing for the legs and the chest. Honestly, this might be some of the best pilot detailing that we've gotten from any of the Rebellion fighters, and 10 Num also has an alternate expression that looks pretty excellent as well. He shares the same helmet mold that we saw on some of those A-Wing pilots, and he's about $7. The next guy, a 2013 release, is the exact same body as 10 Num. He was released in the B-Wing and Planet Endor set 75010. His visor is neon yellow, which is a little different, I suppose, from any of the other minifigs, and his price is, once again, roughly $7. Now, we finally worked our way back up to the original B-Wing pilot I mentioned before. Many believe this is Gray 1, though I do not know if that is officially confirmed. What's interesting here is that the print is somewhat similar to the last B-Wing pilots we just saw, though the tubing is now on the left-hand side of the figure instead of the right, and the shape of the life support system on the front has also changed. Great prints for the face. I really like that pink visor, and though I wasn't a big fan of this B-Wing set, it's already relatively collectible, and I wouldn't say you could get this guy for anything less than $15. Just knocking out the last few pilots, here are a couple of Skyhopper pilots. The first one's from 2003 in this set T16 Skyhopper, set number 4477. The print on the body actually looks wonderful. The wrinkles for the clothing on the chest piece is very, very detailed. I don't believe the print for the face is unique, but getting a new version of this guy in the States is going to cost you close to $20. Our updated Skyhopper came out last year in 2015. Same set name, just a totally updated version of the set, and he's like $3 or $4 to buy. Much better looking though, unique prints for that gray helmet, and a exclusive print for the chest, as well as the faces. Now I haven't been keeping track, but I think we have finished off all of the actual Rebellion and Resistance fighters. Oh wait, hold on, there's one more guy. This is the U-Wing Starfighter, or the pilot for that Starfighter. You can see the detailing for the body looks very similar to what our orange jumpsuits might look like from the most recent iteration animations. Though everything is original here, nothing is quite the same as we've seen before. I really like a lot of that line detailing on the legs, and the oxygen tube matches up very well with the printing for the groin piece. The expressions on the face are not new, but the print on the helmet certainly is. A great checkerboard style, and it's actually kind of nice if you show this next to Biggs from 1999. I feel like only just now is LEGO kind of coming back to the extremely intricate print. Regardless, this guy is extremely new. The price has not settled for this figure at all, but at the moment he's going for around $6. Now there's a couple of Naboo pilots I'd like to get to. Well, 3 to be exact. They came out in 2007, 2011, and 2015 respectively. And I'm just gonna burn through these last few guys quick. Here are their sets and their respective prices. Also, by the way, this is a pilot for the Republic. Nothing too special, he's all blue. And with that, we've totally finished off this collection. There's a few more in there that don't necessarily count as the Rebels, but I thought I might throw them in as well, and it totals 41 minifigs altogether. Pretty happy with the way these minifigs look. Honestly, I think they went through improvements pretty much across the board. Star Wars is a big line, and the spaceships in Star Wars are huge, so I think LEGO spent a lot of time making sure that the pilots look good for them. And if there's another pilot that I think should be added to the collection, I would say Garvin Dryce, Red Leader on the original attack on the Death Star, probably deserves to be in there. But then again, there's just a million other cool pilots throughout the universe, so this is really kind of a free-for-all. All right, that is it for this collection, everybody. Thanks a lot for watching. Remember, you can always leave a comment in the section below if you want to see a new kind of collection video in the future. We'll try to get those collections done for you. And if you enjoy our content, you can always like or subscribe. This was BrickVault. My name's Jack, and thanks a lot for watching.